Floyd's death sparked weeks of protest across the country, including some here in Fort Wayne. Our Carly Van Cleve talked with some of the people who were at those protests. They say Chauvin's sentence isn't enough. Carly.
I talked with some people who have been active in this case since the beginning. They tell me this sentencing isn't the end because it won't stop them from working to end police brutality. They say there's so much left to be done.
Feeling of indifference. We haven't made much progress.
I was disappointed.
22 and a half years in prison for former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, who murdered George Floyd.
Sickening to me that any human being can think that they have the right to mistreat somebody.
Minnie Jackson says she was hoping for the 30-year sentence prosecutors requested.
It doesn't stop with just the sentencing. It's temporary feeling of satisfaction. I won't be comfortable until I know that my child and the next generation can actually live freely.
Daylana Saunders and Alicia Rauch with the group Changemakers say they agree the sentencing wasn't enough.
The sentencing was insufficient. This was murder. And it was cruel.
We don't feel any relief because it's the culture that needs to change. It's not the people.
The two told me Chauvin's sentencing makes them feel as if there hasn't been enough progress when it comes to police reform. But it has pushed them to work harder.
This sentencing did not reform policing. It did not end qualified immunity. It did not reform, anything in our country.
So what's next? For Jackson, she says she wants to focus on more representation of all people in our city.
Changing my city is changing new faces.
And for Changemakers, they say they want accountability.
Making sure that when something happens in our community, that we speak up and we speak out and, hold people accountable for the things that they do.
Saunders, Rauch, and Jackson say they'll feel some relief when the culture of policing changes as a whole. But until then, they say their work will continue.